Hey there, Internet. I'm Kyle. Apparently, I'm back playing Doki Doki Literature Club. On our last episode, it's like every other episode, we read some poetry, but this time in front of the class, and I had a really awkward interaction with Sayori as I walked her home, and she's feeling pretty down. Monika's talking to her. I'm gonna go talk to Yuri, though, because Yuri is bae. Here we go. So I stand up from my desk and sit down in the one next to her own. Ooh. Music change.
I didn't mean to bother you or anything.
Relax. You didn't even do anything.
But I could tell that you wanted to be alone with your thoughts.
Alone with my thoughts? How are you even able to tell what I was thinking like that?
Well, it's something that I do a lot. So it wasn't hard for me to spot based on your posture and expression. Not that I was staring or anything. I didn't do anything creepy like that.
In any case, I guess you were right. I'm sorry if I caused you any concern.
Don't apologize. Your troubles are the only concerns of those who...
Your troubles are only the concern of those who willingly share in that concern.
Of course, there are certainly those who find the most comfort in keeping to themselves. But if you would prefer to share what's on your mind, then I'd be glad to listen.
It's not really that big of a deal. I was just feeling a bit uneasy about Sayori.
Sayori?
Yeah, she seems a little bit off today, but when I asked her about it, she didn't want to admit it to me. So I can't help but wonder if something's happened to her.
Oh, that's quite romantic. Sorry. I didn't mean to say something stupid.
It's not that. I just didn't want you to misunderstand. Sayori and I have just been friends for a long time, that's all.
Ah, I see. Then perhaps it is unusual for her to be dismissive to you about her feelings.
Or maybe I'm just reading into it a little bit too much.
Kyle, the world is full of meaning, often hidden deep within plain sight. And there are many untold mysteries behind every person, no matter how well you know them.
So you think that there might be something behind it all after all?
I think that Sayori is a very complex person. Her mannerisms on the outside don't always match what may be going on inside of her head. And she may not always know what she wants. I noticed her strange behavior today too. And I also feel some concern for her. But in your case, it looked like she was fully occupying your thoughts, wasn't she?
Well, I guess that was the case.
Sayori, she really means a lot to you, doesn't she?
I guess. But you don't need to put it that way. We're just good friends, that's all. Yuri suddenly looks deeply into my eyes. Her expression is gentle and curious, as if she was searching for something. Embarrassed, I avert my gaze.
Sometimes, a person's mysteries are untold even to themselves. And you, as someone honest and caring, may uncover your feelings you weren't aware were in you. That is, I think that she would be a very fortunate person to have you feel that way about her.
Yuri, you're giving me way too much credit. I'm a pretty simple guy, so I think I'm pretty good at understanding my own feelings. I'm not nearly as sophisticated as you.
That's not a compliment, is it?
It is what it is. Anyway, as long as we're here, why don't we do some reading?
Well, as long as you're okay with it.
Yeah. I should be taking my mind off this whole thing anyway. Why don't we go ahead and get started?
Yes, let's. Actually, I have a request. Do you mind if I have some tea first?
Not at all.
Thanks very much. If there's one thing I can make my reading time any better, it's a nice cup of tea, not to mention for yourself as well.
Yuri stands up and makes her way to the closet. I follow and watch as she retrieves a small pitcher of water from the shelf, the kind with a filter inside.
Can you hold this for a second?
Sure. Yuri hands me the water pitcher and also fetches an electric kettle.
I'm going to plug this in at the teacher's desk, then we'll go get some water.
She walks past me and sets the kettle down on the teacher's desk. I simply watch her movements. To my surprise, the way she moves really contrasts her speaking mannerisms, especially because of her long legs. Yuri appears elegant and methodical.
Okay, I have the water pitcher.
Thanks, I'll be right back. I mean, I might as well walk with you.
Yeah, why not? Shall we go then?
Yeah.
Where are you two off to?
Yuri was gonna make some tea, so I suddenly realized how weird it sounds to explain this to Monika. We're just filling the water pitcher.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I was just a bit curious. That's the kind of a one-person job, isn't it?
That's...
Monica, please mind your own business for once.
Wow.
Or do you want to tell me there's something wrong with helping involve Kyle in club activities?
Sorry, that really threw me for a loop. My mouth gapes, yeah.
I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. Then let's go, Kyle.
Yuri quickly exits the room and I follow. Whoa. Once in the hallway, she suddenly puts her forehead against the wall.
I spoke without thinking. How could I say something like that?
Yuri.
Something about the way she said that made me feel so irritated. What's wrong with me?
No, Yuri. I think you did the right thing. I wasn't expecting it, but it's also not right for Monica to judge people like that.
Kyle. How come even when I do something bad, you're being nice to me?
Because nothing that you do is as bad as you make it seem in your head. Nobody's perfect. We have emotions and we can't always hide them away. But you always amplify things in your head. Your mind turns a light rain shower into a hurricane.
No. Wouldn't you hate me for something as terrible as that?
Why would I hate you? I can't hate someone for having emotions. What kind of friend would do that?
Friend, you say?
Yuri lifts her head.
Kyle, I really like being friends with you.
Thanks, Yuri. I like being friends with you, too. I feel kind of awkward saying something like that. But I'm doing my best to help Yuri feel better. Anyway.
Yeah. Shall we go?
Yeah. Yuri and I walk to the nearest water fountain. Once we fill up the water pitcher, we return to the classroom.
Kyle, do you like oolong tea?
Yeah. Anything's fine.
Very well.
Yuri sets the temperature on the kettle to 200 degrees.
Now it's time to get the teapot.
You really do this properly, don't you?
Of course. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others.
Even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything?
In that case, you'll only be even more impressed.
Perhaps I will. Yuri fetches the teapot and begins measuring the tea leaves. To my surprise, she even starts humming a little to herself. You must be in a good mood now.
Is that so? I was letting it show, and you noticed. I was doing a bit of thinking. I decided I would try expressing myself a little more. It turns out it's not very hard for me to do. When it's you around, anyway.
That's great, Yuri. Don't push yourself too much.
You're always worrying about me, Kyle. It's very endearing.
Yuri wasn't kidding. I don't even know if I can keep up with this. I watch Yuri pour a cup of tea for each of us.
Kyle, I have another request. Do you mind if we sit on the floor today?
Why's that?
It's a little bit easier on my back. I can read with my back against the wall rather than bending over at my desk.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
No worries. I just have back pain fairly regularly, so I do my best to manage it.
Is that so? Wonder why that is.
It's mostly because
your posture, right? Always hunched over like that while reading?
Yes, I have terrible reading posture, so that's why we should sit on the floor.
Fair enough. I'll go ahead and get the book. I retrieve the book from my bag. I have some chocolate as well. It's a bag of small chocolate candies that I kept hidden from Sayori's candy radar. I take it since it will go well with the tea. Yuri and I sit against the wall, teacups at our side. As if in sync, we assume the same reading position as last time, each holding one half of the book. Except this time, our bodies are even closer to each other.
I can't see too well.
Yuri slides closer until our shoulders are touching. How am I supposed to focus on reading like this? Yuri was always kind of cute, but when she's being less apprehensive, it's almost more than I can handle.
Your teacup.
Yuri hands me my teacup. Holding it with my hands that's not holding the book, I end up in a position that makes it even harder to focus because now I have to worry about making sure I don't accidentally touch her chest. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't noticed a single thing. She wears her intense reading expression, and I can only presume the world around her has faded away. I use all of my willpower to focus on reading. After a few minutes, I finally manage to relax a little. I put the teacup between my legs and fumble with the chocolate wrapper. I briefly let go of the book. to finish opening the wrapper. You can have as much as you want.
That's okay. I won't take any.
Are you sure?
Well, if I touch it, then it might smudge on the pages.
Ah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. My bad.
No need to apologize. I'll hold the book, okay?
Are you sure?
Of course.
Yuri opens the book with both hands. She holds it so that I don't have any harder of a time reading it. But as a result, her left arm is practically resting on top of my leg. Well, in that case, Yuri's already totally focused on reading again. I take a chocolate and pop it into my mouth. Then I take another chocolate and I hold it up to Yuri. She doesn't even look away from the book. She simply parts her lips as if the situation was completely natural. But that means I can't stop here. I apprehensively place the chocolate in her mouth. Just like that, Yuri closes her lips over it.
Eh?
Yuri's expression suddenly breaks. Did I just... Yuri looks at me as if she needs to confirm what just happened.
Kyle?
Sorry. I guess I shouldn't have done that.
Well, you were just helping. That's something that friends do, right?
I mean... Not really in this kind of context, but... Yeah. That's all it was.
Yeah. Then, you don't need to stop or anything.
I see. The situation has gotten really tense. Yuri tries to return to the book, but I can tell just by her expression that even she can't focus now. My heart is pounding. I nervously take another chocolate between my fingers, but this time, Yuri's eyes meet mine. How did it even come to this? Yuri doesn't avert her gaze. I notice her chest rising and falling to the rhythm of her breath. I raise my arm. Like before. Yuri parts her lips, but it's different this time. I take the chocolate and place it in her mouth. I feel her hot breath on my fingers. Okay, everyone. Yuri jolts back. It's time to share poems. Kyle, can you help Yuri put away the tea stuff, right? Yeah, of course. Nothing going on down here on the floor.
Okay, thanks.
The spell is abruptly broken.
I'll take care of the cups.
Yeah. Yuri picks up the teacups from the floor. I pick up the bag of chocolates. In the end, we hastily clean up without so much as a word between us. I get the feeling this is something neither of us will have the courage to bring up. Alright, we're about to read some love poems.
Kyle, your writing has only improved in these last few days. Every poem you show me has been nothing short of spectacular. I can really feel the emotions. I'm a little envious even. I don't think it's ever came to me this naturally.
Yuri, that's the wrong way to put it. This never did come to me naturally. But I've been able to improve so much thanks to you. You're really the example I was chasing after.
Is that so?
Yuri gently smiles to herself.
This feeling. I'm so glad I got a chance to share my writing. I never thought it would feel like this.
I remember you mentioning that yesterday. I can't believe that you're so good at something you've never even shared it with anyone. It's kind of a shame.
Maybe, but it's not like I really had a choice.
What do you mean?
Well,
Yuri smiles sadly.
Kyle, during lunchtime I eat by myself. Did you know that? It's a great time to find a quiet spot and do some reading. In fact, I always have some books with me. You could say I really enjoy reading. Well, that's one way to put it anyway, but books are so full of amazing and inspiring people. People you want to fall in love with. Or people you just know would make a really good friend. Cheerful people who always put a smile on your face. Or deep thinkers and problem solvers who discover the mysteries of life. So when you look at it that way, I'm surrounded by friends every day, you know? And those friends don't laugh at me. They don't tease me for spacing out all the time. They don't make fun of my body type. And they don't hate me for acting like a know-it-all.
People say that about you?
I'm not a know-it-all, Kyle. It's the opposite. I don't know anything. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to make people see me as normal. I don't even know how to make myself happy. I have all these feelings, and all I can do with them is read and write. But it wasn't until now that I started sharing it with you that I really understood what was missing all this time.
But I haven't really done anything.
No. That's wrong. Just being patient and respectful. That's really important to me. I know I'm a difficult person, Kyle. I speak too slowly. I second guess myself all the time. I read too deeply into things, but every time, you've always treated me just like anyone else. It's so rare that I feel comfortable with myself when I talk to others. But that's why every time I talk to you, I just feel really happy.
I see. Well, I treat you how you deserve to be treated, Yuri. And if other people don't see it that way, then screw them. I mean, I joined this club hoping I would make friends. And I would say I've had at least one success. Wouldn't you?
If you put it that way, yeah. We really are friends, aren't we?
Yuri puts her head in her hands. This time she's smiling as she does it. Do you want to show me your poem?
Yeah, I do. Let me get it for you.
Alright, this one is called Beach. A marvel millions of years in the making, where the womb of Earth chaotically meets the surface, under a clear blue sky and expansive bliss. But beneath gray rolling clouds and endless enigma, the easiest world to get lost in is one where everything can be found. One can only build a sandcastle where the sand is wet, but where the sand is wet, the tide comes. Will it gently lick at your foundations until you give in, or will a sudden wave send you crashing down the blink of an eye? Either way, the outcome is the same, yet we still build sandcastles. I stand where the foam wraps around my ankles, where my toes squish into the sand. The salty air is therapeutic. The breeze is gentle yet powerful. I sink my toes into the ultimate boundary line, tempted by the foamy tendrils. Turn back, and I abandon my peace to a road at the shore. Drift forward, and I return to the earth forevermore.
I'm aware that the beach is kind of an inane thing to write about, but I did my best to take a metaphorical approach to it.
You say that like you didn't even want to write about it.
Oh, you haven't heard? After yesterday, Natsuki and I, well, it was amusing that we wrote about something similar in such different ways. So Natsuki wants to write about the same topic as each other again. I suppose to compare the differences in our writing styles or thought processes. Anyway, it was her idea. Knowing her, it's no surprise that she wanted to do something like that. She probably just wants to show off. It's not like I have a particular interest in her writing style. I just went with her request, but, well, I suppose it's not so bad to write about something simple on occasion. It can be refreshing, you know? It's good for me to calm my thoughts once in a while.
Yeah, I think I agree. Thanks for sharing. Alright, let's go Sayori.
Huh. It's nice, I guess.
Come on, I can already tell you don't like it.
Well, you don't need to worry about what I think. After all, you wrote this for someone else, didn't you? Probably Yuri.
I didn't write this for anyone specifically. Not at all.
Maybe. That's not really what I meant, though. But it's okay. You're making new friends just like I was hoping. That makes me really happy. And you're happy too, right? In this club?
Well, of course I am.
Good. That's all that matters to me. Thank you, Kyle.
Sayori, is there something wrong?
Huh? No, nothing. I'm just a little tired today.
Alright. Just tell me if you need anything.
I will. Don't worry about me, okay? You can go play with everyone else now.
If you insist.
Yay! I'm gonna go home a little bit early today.
Sayori?
Tell Monica I wasn't feeling well, okay? I'll see you tomorrow.
Before I can say anything else, Sayori cheerfully walks out of the classroom, humming to herself. Alright. I guess Natsuki.
Meh. I guess you really haven't learned anything after all. Honestly, I don't know why I got my hopes up in the first place.
What? I think this one was that bad. What did I do wrong?
Poems don't need to be all deep sounding to express something. It's going to just sound like you're forcing it unless you really don't suck at it. Honestly, don't bother trying to write poems like this until you're on Yuri's level.
Natsuki stopped short all of a sudden.
Don't tell me. You're not just trying to impress Yuri, are you?
What are you talking about? Keep your voice down.
You know Yuri would love this kind of angsty.
Just because she's a talented writer doesn't mean I mean... Looks like I'm in trouble. I somehow struck a nerve, though. What I did is beyond me.
I'm so done with you.
Natsuki shoves the poem I handed her back over to me.
Take your stupid poem. If you wrote it for someone else, don't show it to me.
Ouch. This is what I get for letting a younger girl step into my business. Unless I was a mind reader, I was destined to be in a world of pain from the start. At least Natsuki wasn't really the girl I was trying to impress in the first place. Truth. She's the last one I would. Monica.
Hi, Kyle. Have you thought about what you want to submit to perform at the festival?
Well, being in this club is one thing, but performing in front of a bunch of people, I'll have to give it some more thought.
Okay, no pressure. But whatever you do, I'm sure it'll turn out great. It would also make me happy to see. Haha. Anyway, let's take a look at today's poem.
Sure. I let Monica take the poem I'm holding in my hands. This one's good.
It feels like you're not only getting more comfortable with your style, but the imagery is better than the last one I read.
Just wondering, have you been finding inspiration in Yuri's writing style? I guess so. You can't deny that she's talented.
Yeah, totally. I think her poems are the most romantic. That's the best way to describe it. She's like a totally different person when she picks up a pen.
I noticed that too. Or when she's talking about literature, it's like a light turns on inside of her.
Sadly, it's hard to get much personal conversation out of her. Trust me, I've tried. Who knows what goes on in that head of hers?
I hope you don't mean that in a bad way.
No, of course not. I just meant that I wish she didn't keep so much to herself. But still, defending her like that, you must be pretty into her.
You completely misunderstood.
Calm down, I'm kidding. Besides, I'm pretty sure she's already got a boyfriend.
What? Really?
Yeah, a fictional one anyway.
Monica kind of whispers that last part to me.
It's just a hunch, but...
Well, there's really nothing wrong with that.
Oh, well, I know. I was just saying. Anyway, I'll share my poem with you now, alright?
Alright. Ugh. Okay, I was gonna say this is a long one. The Lady Who Knows Everything. An old tale tells of a lady who wanders Earth, the lady who knows everything. A beautiful lady who has found every answer, all meaning, all purpose, all that was ever sought, and here I am, a feather, lost adrift the sky, victim of the currents of the winds. Day after day I search. I search with little hope, knowing legends don't exist. But when all else has failed me, when all others have turned away, the legend is all that remains. The last dim star glimmering in the twilight night sky. Add some words there. Until one day the wind ceases to blow. I fall, and I fall, and fall, and fall even more. Gentle as a feather, a dry quill, expressionless. But a hand catches me between the thumb and forefinger. The hand of a beautiful lady. I look at her eyes and find no end to her gaze. The lady who knows everything. The lady who knows everything that what I am thinking. Knows what I am thinking. Before I can speak, she responds in a hollow voice. I have found every answer, all of which amount to nothing. There is no meaning, there is no purpose, and we seek only the impossible. I am not your legend. Your legend does not exist. And with a breath, she blows me back afloat, and I pick up a gust of wind.
You know, I feel like learning and looking for answers are the sort of things that give life meaning. Not to get too philosophical or anything, but it was kind of on my mind, so that's what I wrote about.
I see. I never really put that much thought into it.
In a way, it's almost paradoxical, because if we had all the answers, wouldn't the world start to lose its meaning?
You know, there's one thing I noticed. It seems like everyone in the club prefers writing about things that are more sad than happy.
Are you surprised? I mean, if everything was okay, we wouldn't really have anything to write about, would we? Humans aren't two-dimensional creatures. I think you know that better than anyone.
You mean one-dimensional?
Yeah, that. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip for the day. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? It can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much into. But if you find other people who enjoy writing, then sharing becomes a lot easier, because instead of telling you that your writing is good or okay or bad, they'll want to focus more on everything that went into it and the things you can work on. It's much more encouraging that way, and it'll make you want to continue improving. It's almost like having your own little literature club, don't you think? That's my advice for the day. Thanks for listening. Okay, you three. We're all done sharing poems, right? Why don't we start figuring out... Hold on a second. Is it just me, or did you say something strange just now? Eh? Something did sound a bit unusual. That's right. You deviated from your usual catchphrase when addressing the club. Catchphrase? I don't have a catchphrase. Jeez, why is the mood so weird today? Look, even Yuri isn't immune to it. Stagnating air is common foreshadowing that something terrible is about to happen. In your books, maybe. Look, the only thing different is that Sayori isn't here. It seems you're right. Sigh. Sayori always helps lighten the mood a little bit, doesn't she? It's almost like everyone's balance is thrown off when she's not around. Where the heck did she run off to anyway? I thought she just went to pee. Natsuki, please show some decency. Oh, come on. She actually wasn't feeling too well and went home early. Is that so? I hope she's alright. Seriously? Of all the times to not go home with her, you pick the time she's not feeling well? So much for you two being all lovey-dovey. No. First of all, stop misunderstanding my friendship with Sayori. And second, she's kind of been avoiding me today, so I didn't want to force it. Oh. That curious expression coming from Yuri, of all people. Calm down, guys. I talked to her earlier and everything's fine. What did she say? Anyway, we need to figure out the rest of the festival preparation, so let's decide what everyone will be doing this weekend. I already know what I'm doing. That's right. Natsuki will be making cupcakes. But we might need a lot of them, and different flavors. Can you handle that all by yourself, Natsuki? Challenge accepted. And as for myself, I'm going to be printing and assembling all of the poetry pamphlets. Sayori will be helping me design them. And for you, Yuri? Yuri, you can, Guys, can you help me come up with something for Yuri? I'm useless. No, that's not it at all. You're the most talented person here, you know? Now, Natsuki's pouting too. Jeez, even I can tell now. I guess I never gave Sayori enough credit, but I can tell things are even harder on you when she's not around. That may be the case, but if I can't also be a leader on my own, then I won't grow as a person. So Yuri, you have beautiful handwriting, don't you? So you should make some banners and decorations to help set up the atmosphere. Atmosphere? About that, I love atmosphere. Yuri's expression suddenly changes as she stares at her desk and focuses and starts nodding to herself. Your mind is already racing, I see. That's great. You'll be a wonderful help, Yuri. But anyway, that just leaves you, Kyle. One who is truly useless. Me. Don't say that. In fact, both Natsuki and Yuri have some pretty heavy tasks to handle. It would probably go a long way to give one of them a hand. You could always help me out as well. I would be really appreciative of that. I'm not suggesting I spend the weekend with one of my club members. How on earth are they going to respond to a suggestion like that? I suppose I wouldn't mind a bit of help. Well, even if you know how to bake, there's always some dirty work I can give to you. It's not like Monica is going to give me a choice. And you shouldn't be sitting on your butt anyway. Natsuki tries to mumble a bunch of excuses like that. If I recall, Natsuki, you mentioned that you like to handle baking on your own. Kyle may not be around if you only make him out to be a nuisance. So, therefore, he may be more suited to assisting with the decorations. Hold on, I never said that. How hard could it be to make a few decorations anyway? Sounds more like you're just making an excuse for Kyle to... What are you saying? It'll be extremely meticulous work. And baking isn't? Just what do you think? Guys, let's settle down for a moment. In the end, I think it's up to Kyle to decide who he'd like to contribute. Besides, he hasn't gotten the chance to spend any time with me yet, you know? So I'm sure he's interested in... You literally just said... I'm surprised as well. Sorry. I was just saying, though... Jeez, can we just settle this already? Yeah. Kyle, you're okay with this, right? In the end, it's up to you. Of course. Very well then. In that case,
Everyone looks straight at me. Ooh, those are a lot of options. Okay, I'm going to ruminate on this and make this huge decision on the next episode. If you guys liked what you saw, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'm Kyle, apparently, and I will see you next time.
The next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000 for your next of kin in case you don't survive.